Welcome, Warriors. It is Monday, August 31st. We hope you had a great weekend. We are back in Miss Bridwell's room to teach you a little bit of math. It's going to be a short, quick video today. I think the concept's going to be easy to grasp. We are going to be on the 25th page of your folder in your maroon module, the 25th page. The title of it says Convert Improper Fractions to Mixed Numbers. Okay? We are going to model problems 1, 2, and 3, and then you're going to actually do 4 through 12 for your classwork and homework today, okay? So please pay attention because Mr. Winstead and I are going to work with you right now, and we're going to actually show you a way that's going to get you the right answer. It may be a little bit inefficient for some of you because some of you may be able to do this mentally, but we want to show you the concrete way to do it in case you get hung up with some awkward numbers. Okay, so Mr. Winstead's going to take over and show you number 1.
All right, guys, so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to kind of leave decimals behind for a little bit, and we're going to start jumping into fractions. Now, fractions are something that you should have done a lot of in 5th grade, but we're not sure exactly where you were or where you stopped once all this COVID stuff hit back in March. So we kind of wanted to go back and do a quick review for you. So just as a quick reminder, there are 3 different types of fractions that we work with. One of them look like this right here. All right, that's a normal fraction that you see. That's what we call a proper fraction. There's also another type where that looks like this right here. Now you notice the difference. On the first one, the numerator is smaller than the denominator, which is normal. And Miss Bridwell's typing 93 for some reason in our problem. So, this one right here is called an improper fraction. It's improper because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So that's what we're going to kind of work with a little bit today. And tomorrow we're going to be working with mixed fractions, which have a whole number and a fraction beside of it like that. So today we're just going to be working with improper. Now what we want to do is take this improper fraction and turn it into a mixed number, which has a whole number and a fraction beside of it. Now the reason we do this is because this right here, when you have an answer into certain problems, doesn't make a whole lot of sense. All right, so like say I have apples and I have 12/5 of an apple. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but if we turn it into an improper fraction, you can say we have 5 whole apples and 3/5 of another. That makes more sense. So there's different situations where you need each one. So we're going to take it some time and actually show you how to go back and forth between the two. So the first problem that we have here, which is the number 1 on page 25 in your folder, we have an improper. So you notice the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So we want to take this and turn it into a mixed number, where we have a whole number and a fraction beside of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to draw on some of the knowledge that you have obtained over the past couple of weeks. So the easiest way to do this is think about how many times will 12 go into 113. Now that should ring a bell for you. That sounds exactly like what we said when we taught you how to do long division. So, and that's all this is. This right here is a fraction. And the fraction bar is just another way that you write a division symbol. So if you remember from last week, when we told you there are multiple ways to write a multiplication symbol, same thing with division. So the fraction bar just means division. So the easiest way that we can think to do this is to think, well, what is 113 divided by 12? Okay, so you do the same thing that we've been working on. So will 12 go into 1? No, it won't. So we move on. Will 12 go into 11? Nope. So we got to keep moving. Will 12 go into 113? Yes, it will. But we've got to figure out how many times. So guess and check. So I'm going to say I think it goes into it, I don't know, we'll say 7 times. I know 113 is pretty good ways away from 12. So I'm going to start guessing on the higher end. So 7 times 2 is 14. Carry the 1. 7 times 1 is 7 plus 1 is 84. Now that's close, but not close enough. I still see there's a big gap here, so I'm going to jump up and try 9. Now, 9 times 2 is 8. Carry the 1. I'm sorry, not 18. 9 times 1 is 9, plus it's 108. Now that's really, really close. I know that 12, we can go into it 12 more times, so that has to be my answer. So put 9 here. Subtract away the 108. So borrow, which is 5, 0, 0. So I'm left with 5. So I have 9, remainder 5. Now that should look very familiar to you. Now, how do I actually use this? So we have 9 wholes, and here's how we use the remainder to make it a mixed fraction. The denominator stays the same. We keep the same denominator. It stays 12. And whatever we get as our remainder is our numerator, and you've just converted from improper to mixed. Okay, so that's the easiest way that we can think today to kind of draw on what you already know. So whatever you get as your number up here, that's your whole number. Whatever your denominator is stays the same, and whatever your remainder is your new numerator. And there's your improper to mixed number. Okay? Mr. Potts, you want to add anything to that one before we do another
That's
example?
pretty thorough. I think that's very self-explanatory the way you showed that. I know this is detailed, guys. It takes a lot of work, but the way Mr. Winstead is doing this, there is no room for error. Okay, and we're not giving you 35 problems. Okay, you're just going to have actually 3, 6, 9 problems for classwork homework. So this is definitely doable. The more you show your work, the more success you're going to have with making careless mistakes. Okay.
And guys, once you get used to this, it becomes a lot faster. Once you kind of understand what you're doing, you don't have to do the division problem every time. You can look at it and kind of see how you do it. So we'll do another one together. So again, you have 19 halves, improper because the numerator is bigger than the denominator, and I want to turn it into a mixed number. So think, how many times would 2 go into 19? So I'm going to rewrite my problem over here to help me out. All right, so most of you all should be able to hopefully see this, because 2 won't go into 0, 2 won't go into 1, but 2 will go into 19. That's kind of a math fact. What times 2 gets me close to 19? And, 9 times 2 is 18. So 2, subtract away the 18, and you have 1 left. So 2, remainder 1. So if you remember from the last problem, 2 is our whole number. Our denominator does not change. And whatever we get as our remainder, here's our new numerator. So 19 over 2 is the same thing as 2 1/2. So in elementary school, you probably call those equivalent fractions. So 19 over 2 is equivalent to 2 1/2. So you can use those interchangeably in whatever the situation calls for.
Okay, I'm going to jump in here real quick with Mr. Winstead. And you know what I love about math and I love about working together? I just found a mistake that Mr. Winstead made.
Make a mistake?
Okay, and he's walking through this, and he's thinking, he's processing.
I did make a mistake.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to correct it. So when you're at home working, it's very good that you check your work to see what you're doing. So let's do this. So how many times does 2 go into 19? Mr. Winstead knows it goes in 9 times. He has it right here, but when he transferred it over here, he made a silly mistake. Okay, we call those silly mistakes. So 2 goes into 19 9 times.
No.
Okay, 9 times 2 is 18. 19 minus 18 is 1. There's 1 left over. So remember what we said before. 2 goes into 19 9 times. That 1 is going to be the remainder, and that denominator always stays the same. Okay?
So, good point. It's okay to make mistakes. We do
Absolutely.
it all the time.
Absolutely.
All the time. And
Miss Bridwell makes a lot of mistakes, but
Miss Bridwell does not make a lot of mistakes.
Miss Bridwell usually is the one that kind of pokes fun at you for making mistakes.
I do not. I would never make fun of you for making a mistake. Only Mr. Winston and Mr. Potts.
No, it's okay. We know, math, you're going to make a lot of mistakes no matter if you, like us. When we do this all the time, still make mistakes, that's perfectly fine. And we'll correct them together and figure it out.
that's right.
That's what we do. So we got one more problem to do with you, which is number 3, and I'll try not to make a mistake on this one, but if I do, it's okay. So we have 36 over 10. Same process. How many times will 10 go into 36? Sounds a lot like a division problem. Ms. Bridwell's distracted me with her mouse movement over there.
I'm trying to tell him maybe later.
So, how many times will 10 go into 3? It won't. How many times will 10 go into 36? Well, I know that 10 times 3 gives me 30, and 10 times 4 gives me 40. So 3 is the most, so I'm going to transfer it right this time. So I'm going to put a 3 up here, subtract away the 30, and I have 6 remaining. So 3 remainder 6. So to put it back into my problem, we have 3 wholes, 6 over 10. So my 10 stays the same, my remainder becomes my numerator, and I have my whole number. So that is how we convert from improper to mixed number. All right? So what we want you to do today is we want you to finish 4 through 12. 4 through 12, which is 9 problems. And the big thing we want you to do, guys, is once you finish, obviously you put it in your Google form, but when you put these in the Google form, you have to be careful. So if I'm putting this in the Google form, I'm going to put my whole number first. I'm going to hit the space bar, and then I'm going to put 6/10. Okay? So let me repeat that. When I put this answer in my Google form, it doesn't have the fraction bar option. So put your whole number, space, 6/10. And that should make sure that you don't get that wrong answer notification when you actually got it correct. Okay? So try your best. If you have any questions, please let us know, and we'll help you out. Other than that, hope you have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow. See you guys.
Thank you, guys.